Hello and welcome back to Hop to the Top. Hope you're all doing well today. As you can tell by the sound of my voice, I'm not doing so well. I've still got this bug, virus, whatever it is, the cold. It's a cold, basically, that's what it is. Either way, as you can tell, I'm not 100% yet, and because of that, we are only going to do one game in today's episode, just to try and make sure my voice stays fresh enough to keep bringing new videos every single day. So just the one game in today's episode. We've got the Fenerbache game for you, which I think should be quite an interesting one. So first things first, thank you ever so much for all the feedback so far on basically what you want to see from the channel going forward. Obviously, this is ending at the end of Series 10. After that, we're doing a season with Inter Miami in America. And then after that, it's kind of up to you guys what you want to see. And loads of you left suggestions in the comment section a couple of days ago. I read through all of those and I sort of compiled it into three sort of key areas that I thought you guys might want to see. And I put that to a vote on the TomFM community page on my YouTube channel. There's about 700, 800 of you that voted in that so far, and it's pretty much split three ways, 31, 34, 35%. So it's still really close. So I think what I'm going to do is get a specific idea for each of those save types and then pitch it to you and see which one you choose. And hopefully that might end the split a little bit because I can't really please everyone at the moment. So keep your eyes open on the community tab on my YouTube channel for over the next few days, and you'll probably see something with another vote on there for something like that. Anyway, back into today's episode. First of all, we need to talk about what's happened since you guys were last here, and that was for the game against Schalke, which was a very disappointing 2-0 loss, our only loss in competitive fixtures this season. Since then, we've played a whole host of games and won every single one of them, which is pretty good. Starting off with a 4-2 win away from home against Young Boys. Bottles with a hat-trick, and Roberto Alvarado gets his first goal for the club in the 93rd minute. We then beat Toon 1-0 with João Soares getting the goal in the 46th minute. That was a lot closer than it should have been, that game. We then took on Sion, a 2-0 win there with Matthew Bottles and Alex Smith getting the goals in that game. We then absolutely thumped Rangers 5-0 in the Champions League to sort of make a bit of redemption for the loss to Schalke last time out. But a 5-0 win over Rangers with Bottles getting a hat-trick, Smith and Bernard scoring the goals as well in that game. And then we followed up with two league victories. Geronimo Capitano scoring both the goals in a 2-0 win over Luzern, before Bottles scored both the goals in a 2-1 victory over Lausanne. So pretty good going. As for the league table, as you would probably expect at this point, we are top of it. 10 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. That means we have 31 points from 11 games, which is pretty good going. Bottles already on 13 goals in the league, so he's right up there as well, which is good to see. Randy Schneider leads the assist table with 5 assists, and Roberto Alvarado gets 4 assists, which is pretty good going as well. So that's good to see. Instant impact from a new man. But of course, the thing that we are most concerned about is the yellow card table, and Felipe Cruz tops that jointly with Sterigu, which is fantastic. So congratulations to these two. Unfortunately though, for Sterigu, he won't be picking up any more yellow cards in today's episode because he's not starting the game against Fenerbahce. Kalash starts in goal for us with a backline of Guardado, Ross McQuaid, Haroldinho Bunt and Felipe Cruz, because Sterigu is a little bit tired compared to both McQuaid and Haroldinho Bunts. In that midfield, we've got Pedro and Simmons starting today with an attacking midfield trio of Alvarado, Schneider and Capitano on the ground. Alex Smith has played well, but we kind of want to rotate things around a little bit, and we have not tried this combination yet, so I thought this combination might be worth trying in today's episode. And of course, with 22 goals in all competitions already, Bottles leads the line for us. Will he get to 50 goals this season? Because it's looking like he might do, already on 22 in all competitions. It's pretty exciting. So as kickoff is upon us here today in Istanbul against Fenerbahce, we take a very early lead there. Fantastic stuff. Roberto Alvarado scoring the goal there to make sure we take a very early lead, putting us up to 6 points already in the group stage, which is pretty good going. Only Schalke are ahead of us in the group stages, so obviously we need to catch them up a little bit, but you know what? Pretty pleased with that start. That's fantastic stuff. I was about to go into how actually Fenerbahce in Istanbul as an area is a really nice area. When I was in Istanbul at the end of last year, went over to Fenerbahce because we're on the European side. Fenerbahce is on the, good to say they're from Szczesny. Fenerbahce is on the Asian side. So we got a ferry over to the Asian side and went to Fenerbahce, the area. Went to Fenerbahce Park, which is a really nice area, nice park. Loads of stray cats though, like there's loads of stray cats around all of Istanbul, but specifically Fenerbahce Park seems to be like a bit of a hub for them, but it was a really nice area. So if you're ever in Istanbul, I recommend going to Fenerbahce because it was very nice. And the stadium looks pretty cool as well, saw it from the outside, so I recommend going to the stadium as well. As Matthew Bottles picks up the second goal of today's game, 12 minutes in, already 2-0 up against Fenerbahce. Beautiful stuff. Good work from Haroldinho Bunce playing it back in towards the new signing Pedro, who puts it into Xavi Simons, who puts it across to Capitano, who rides the slide tackle, putting it in between the keeper and the defenders. The keeper should have done a lot better there, but Bottles in the bottom of the net, bottom corner. It wasn't bottom corner, it was central, wasn't it? Just in the back of the net. By the looks of things, Schalke are still drawing with Rangers, so hopefully Rangers pull out a bit of a favour for us, as Fenerbahce have pulled one back on the 18-minute mark, which isn't fantastic. I expected a bit more than that. We are hoping, of course, that Rangers can pull out a win over Schalke, because then that puts us level on points with Schalke, and potentially we could then go ahead of them in the table. But before we worry about that, we need to get back our 2-goal lead over Fenerbahce. 1 goal is not enough, and we need to get another one in there. As we are approaching half-time, though, we are 2-1 up with a dominating performance so far. 8 shots to 3 shots, 69% possession to 31% possession. It's pretty good going. Unfortunately, Schalke have taken the lead against Rangers, which isn't very good for us. So we need to try and do a bit of a demolition job against Schalke when we play them next time around. Also, I suppose, whilst we're playing in Fenerbahce, playing in Istanbul, we can't not think about the song Istanbul, Constantinople. I would like to sing it to you, but my voice sounds terrible as it is, so my singing voice is going to sound even worse. But just Google or YouTube Istanbul, Constantinople song. It's just, I had it in my head the entire time I was in Istanbul. Like, it was quite bad, to be fair. As Geronimo Capitano scores the 3rd goal for us in today's game on the 60-minute mark, which is fantastic stuff. We'll watch the highlights and then we'll probably make some changes out there as Capitano plays it in towards Felipe Cruz, who does very well in the area to actually beat his defender here and get around it into Capitano, who's in space, into the bottom corner, just past Szczesny. Beautiful stuff. Onto a tactics screen then. Who's looking tired and who's not playing particularly well? Everyone's playing pretty averagely apart from these 3 players for whatever reason. I think what we're going to do is give Juric a go out there. We'll swap him out with Xavi Simons. Also, we might as well give Thad Davis a run out there. Let's give Felipe Cruz a little bit of a rest. And whilst we're at it, Bottles has got his goal today. Let's bring Jordan Platt on the pitch instead for him and see what he can do out there. So really, all we need to do now is just sort of see this game out. Schalke still beating Rangers 1-0. Rangers, if you pick up a draw, that would be very good going for us, actually. That would really help us out massively. So if Rangers can do that, grab the draw, that would be really helpful. As Alvarado on the ball. They have grabbed an equaliser. We've just picked up a penalty as well, but Rangers won, Schalke won. That's fantastic for us, because if now we beat Schalke, we will go ahead of them. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, of all players, has just given away a penalty. Schneider, who hasn't scored many penalties this season, he has missed a few of them, puts this one in the bottom corner, makes it 4-1. Surely now that's the victory for us. Well, I've missed this goal because at the time I was coughing and drinking, and then we scored a goal, but we can see the highlight right now. We've made it 5-1 just now as Pedro puts a great cross into middle, and Jordan Platt, who came off the bench, grabs his 2nd goal of the season. Fantastic stuff to see the youngster score a goal there. Congratulations, Jordan Platt. That might be the first time we've seen you score on camera, which is pretty impressive, I've got to say. Everyone playing extremely well on the pitch right now as well, which is good to see. Only players not playing well is the goalkeeper, because that's always the case, and the 2 substitutes, because they just never play well, substitutes sort of thing. Always have low ratings, apart from when they score a goal, like Jordan Platt did there, to make sure we win 5-1 against Fenerbahce. The Rangers-Schalke game ended as a 1-1 draw as well, which is really big for us, because now we can play Schalke and go ahead of them on points, should we beat them, which is what we should be doing, which is fantastic stuff. So, brilliant stuff from today's episode. We've done what we need to do by winning that game. A big £2.32 million being given for winning that game as well, which is fantastic stuff. If we look at the bank balance, £32 million in the bank. Make board requests, facilities. I always ask to improve training facilities to help this out, but they never want to improve training facilities, which is really frustrating. Whatever I say, this time they have decided to grant it, apparently. That's interesting. They've never done that before. But this time they say, yes, we will improve training facilities, which is going to cost £5 million. So just 2 more wins in the Champions League will pay for that, which is mental. What I did want to ask is about a new stadium. Now, this has been an option for me for a while. Every time I have asked, though, they keep saying, no, can we please build a new stadium? And they just always say, without a sizable increase in our fan base, we're not going to build a new stadium. It's because we never sell out the stadium, apart from when we play Zurich. Even the Champions League games, we just don't sell out for whatever reason. It's the least you could do for me. They just say no. We have a similar ambition for the club. They just say no. The fans are behind me. They say no. We're being left behind by our rivals. They say no. I can't stress how important I believe it's to be they will say no. I'm not going to put my job on the line for it because I want to finish the series, obviously. So I just don't think we're going to get a new stadium, unfortunately. It's not the worst thing, though, because it does mean we'll have more money to spend on transfers and things like that in the next few seasons. So obviously today's episode is a little bit short, which is a little bit frustrating, but obviously you can tell from my voice, I'm just really not up to doing a lot of recording and things like that. So I'm trying to keep it limited, but also get videos out for you. Next episode, then, we are definitely going to do the Schalke game because that is a very important one. So we'll miss the next game against Fenerbache, but we'll then do the Schalke game because that is huge. And I think what we might do there is I'll play the Schalke game, do these ones off camera, and then do the Rangers game as well on the same episode, just so we can see ourselves progressing to the later stage of the Champions League. Unless, of course, we do actually get into the later stage of the Champions League by beating Schalke, because that's also possible, I think. So we'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear, but Schalke definitely next episode. So thank you ever so much for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have done, please do drop a like for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Hop to the Top. Have a great one. Goodbye.